Hey, what's up guys? It's Grand Strategy Boy here for part 5 of Rise of the Spartan Empire, the formation of Alexander's Empire. As you can see here, we are at war with the Magadha Empire. They are the Indians. We are slowly pushing through. We do have an engagement here that we are actually going to wind up losing. My troops are on the way to reinforce, but they hit me kind of out of nowhere. Most of their army was not to be seen for a while, even though they have about 300,000 strength force, but all of a sudden this like 60,000 here just marched out of nowhere, so they're going to manage to offset my advance by a smidgen here, but I will be pushing them back. That army just won and defeated about half or a quarter of their forces up here. I am going to swap over to shock action to counter their tactics. Right now I am losing primarily because they have the counter on against myself. So yeah, I just lost it there. But my next army is pushing in, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. I am able to take all the territory that I need down here without any real opposition, even though I have like 100,000 men down here, which would have been nicer for them to hit that, as opposed to up north. But hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? There we go. My 25,000 strength was able to defeat theirs, so. Now I'm just continuing my advance northwards. They did manage to ambush my northernmost army, which was that 25,000 that you saw earlier, but I do have several armies inbound to reinforce. With the reinforcements there, it should be a pretty easy win. Most of these engagements are going quite smooth against India. It's just mostly the fact that they have so much territory and they're able to occasionally ambush one of my armies. But for the most part, this is going incredibly well, so I will just continue this on. Did have another breakthrough here of Indian troops, but I had a couple armies in range to like put down. So they will be, there we are, they're defeated. Alright, now it's just mostly taking territory at this point. I should be able to get the peace deal that I need, which should give me the 2 cities I need out of India for the Argead Empire, and give me a border with Persia that's nice enough to allow me to take that in one war without having to worry too much about it. If you are going for this achievement, I would highly recommend paying attention to where all the cities are at all times and who controls what, because you can potentially save yourself a lot of headache if you just plan slightly in advance like I did here. I looked at this war from Maria probably like, with Magadha, probably somewhere in the ballpark of like 5 or 6 times over the course of 2 hours trying to plan out my invasion. It worked out pretty well. Alright, as you can see here, we are at war with the Persians now, trying to take that final territory that we need. It is up in the top right corner there, bordering the Magadha Empire. We are able to take it with this peace deal. I do have to get rid of 1 territory just because it's not letting me have the pesky 100 war score. 98 is not bad. It does give me everything I need here. There we are, and my territory is connected, so I'm one big loop now. Alright. Boys, I'm recording this as I'm doing this because it finally happened. We have our decision. We have all the territory we need. We're gonna reunite Alexander's Empire. Let's do it. Oh, I gotta pick a new capital. Well, Sparta it is. Since it's got almost 1,000 pops in it. Yeah, we've done it, boys. And that's an agreed empire run. Let's check out the empire, shall we? Look at that, we changed over to that baby teal. Gorgeous. We'll clean it up a little bit more, add these territories in, and kind of clean this up here. But that should do nicely. Alright, now we're just gonna do a few cleanup wars here. This one was just against Pontus, which was right next to me. Very easy to annex, very small country, not a big deal here. Most of the rest of this game, I will just be cleaning up the map to give us a nice pretty picture for the end of it. There is no real resistance left. I will even eventually wind up fighting a two-front war against Rome and the Magdan Empire at the same time. Primarily because I started plowing through Rome, and the Magdans actually declare war on me from behind, but we will get to that shortly. I mostly, at this point, am just kicking the teeth in of Phrygia. They're way behind me in tech, almost 10 tech levels at this point. And I just mostly need their territory to blob out and do my map painting that's required. Luckily, it's not very hard. It's mostly annoying because everyone else is realizing just how much territory Phrygia has and how weak they are. So I also have to contend, as you can see there, with other people taking other civs taking territory. So, unfortunately for me, I will have to settle for a less than ideal peace deal several times, but Phrygia will mostly, by the end of the game, wind up being eliminated. For better or worse. Most of this winds up being a walkover. Here we are, peace deal, alright. So that's the first of several peace deals we'll do with Phrygia. I think total for the entire campaign, I went over with Phrygia 9 times, and each time they lose a significant chunk of territory. Here is what I think is the 7th war with Phrygia. I'm just basically using their vassals at this point to go back to war with them and continue eating Phrygian territory. So as you can see, another easy war score. My generals are just consistently getting like better and better, which is fantastic at this point in the game, since basically all you're gonna do is just plow through the enemy. There we go, pretty solid. I'm gonna close up a lot of the gaps here. Keep that Argead Empire blue, nice. Alright. Another war out of the way with Phrygia. My biggest pet peeve is the random placement of your empire name in this, because by the end of the game, you'll see I have huge issues with it. Alright, now here we do have the decision to finish this mission for Pan-Hellenic government. I actually turned the Argead Empire into the Hellenic League, because the economy bonuses were just too much to pass up. If I remember correctly, at this point I'm making somewhere in the ballpark of like 277 gold per month. Which means with 783,000 manpower, I could easily rebuild my army from the ground up and fight a two-front war. Now, I actually just wind up leaving my army the same size it is with the, well, it looks like 20 armies, but really it's more like 13, because of the fact that I build occasionally if I need jobs for my more disloyal generals, or potential generals, who also maybe don't have the greatest martial skill, but I need the jobs filled, I will build like a 1,000 stack of like light infantry, and just put them in charge of that. It generally boosts them, and if they're disloyal, it's a stack of 1,000 light infantry, and if they march into battle and die, then that's good for me. I don't have to worry about them. So we see here, this is basically the death of Phrygia. There is not much left after that. There's some vultures left who pick off some of its territory, and it does try to fight back a little bit, but I've essentially gutted them. So that's essentially the end of Phrygia here. I am going to clean up these small little coastal provinces, but I won't bore you guys with the details there. I'll just show you the wars started. And then after that, we will swap over to watch the invasion of Rome, and then we will do a conclusion. And of course, they're all fighting wars of independence against Phrygia, who they're never going to get to because it's all the way through my territory, but it did allow them to be independent so that I can gobble them all up, which is pretty handy, because they're just sitting right on the side of my empire, right where I should be have like complete control of the eastern half of the Mediterranean. So this will allow me to get a decent handle on that. Alright, we do go to war with these guys as well, just to try and get us a little bit better map painting. Unfortunately, it does shoot me in the foot. It moves my my Hellenic League banner over to this area here, and it looks absolutely terrible at the end, which is quite unfortunate for me, seeing as this was the culmination of a week's worth of playtime and another week's worth of editing just to make this video, for it to wind up moving that beautiful Hellenic League you see right there up into a tiny little corner, which is infuriating. As you can see, Sparta's getting pretty big, 926 pops. I do have to consistently build space for them. I am able to keep them all happy because they are actually mostly the same culture group, which makes my life super easy, even with aggressive expansion never dropping below 50 after like the year 650 for myself, as you guys have seen. So I am actually starting to prepare for the war with Rome. In order to do that, I do have to take out these territories next to me. I guess technically I don't have to. I could invade the Italian peninsula by sea, but like I said at the start of the video, I don't really focus very heavily for my navy as Sparta, although at this point in the game I do have like a 200 ship navy consisting of Octirs, Megapolyrenes, and Tetrirs. So it's basically an unbeatable combo. You just have to worry about like a giant stack. Say if I were to go to war with Carthage right now, who has 600 ships, that giant stack would probably still wind up winning. I do here have two wars at once, and I have to take them in a particular order in order to annex everything, because as you can see, as you guys probably very well know, the war score system in this game prevents you from taking territory that you don't either have adjacent territory to, or if that territory is not adjacent to the sea. So I went to peace with the first guys, and this second group allows me to annex all of the territory from that war. And it gives me a nice border with the Roman Empire, well, with the Roman Republic, I should say. I am sailing my fleet into position. They have 210 ships, as you guys saw there, 70 of each type. We're going to try to take Rome before the end of this video, which should be an easily doable goal. They do have quite a few allies, but they're all Gallic, and they all have pretty low research because of their, like, less than ideal civilization level at this point in time. So this little fight with Rome should go pretty handily in my favor. They do have 209,000 troops with 72,000 manpower in reserve, but at this point in time my army is about 350,000 strong with, as you can see up there, 676,000 manpower in reserve. Now, these battles aren't even fair. Even if they were to come up against my worst general, they would lose. This one here is just going to be disgusting. My 31,000 strength army with a rank 15 general against their rank 4 general, 27,000 troops. Yeah, as you can see there, that just did not go well for them. And that is basically the MO. Here we have one of my rank 6 generals. They actually have a better rank than me. And I'm not even going to get to march my rank 15 general in there before I wind up winning that battle. Now this second one is just disgusting. 3,000 men in one battle. In one day. That's nuts. So Rome is just, they're just basically entirely out of manpower and outclassed in every way. Their allies are desperately trying to recruit mercenaries to save them, like the AI always does. But they really don't stand a chance against my troops. Between the discipline bonuses, the fact that I've managed to farm all of these generals off of like civilizations that I've destroyed, and the fact that Sparta naturally gets a higher discipline, it's just unfair. So I'm able to max out my war score in this and basically take everything near Rome without too much trouble. Now, unfortunately, I didn't add in, at this point I stopped recording because the game's basically over. There's 7 years left in it, and I was just going to mop up Rome and then show you guys a snapshot at the end. What winds up happening is, as soon as I go to war with Rome and her, like, little tribute there, gaming the system like I always do, going to war with its tributes, the Magdan Empire did declare war back on me. So what I did is I turned around half of my forces and was able to finish off Rome since they were so like thoroughly defeated after the last war. They didn't really offer much resistance, and the Magdan Empire didn't much so either. But because it's such a vast different distance marching from Italy all the way to India, even with my road system intact, I did have to recruit mercenaries to slow down the Magdan Empire because there was a point in time where the war score got down to like -50 against me, just because I didn't have any troops in the area and they were able to occupy their war goal. But I never really give up, and they weren't able to enforce peace soon enough, so I was actually able to snag quite a bit more territory from them, as you can see over there. So if you look to the left in Italy, I did manage to take Rome and quite a bit of territory down below it, and I did manage to take another giant chunk of the Magdan Empire. But that's going to do it for this entire campaign. I did manage to form the Argead Empire, switched over to the Hellenic League right after, essentially, and that was about it. I hope you guys liked this video and this entire series. Please expect more out of me. I do plan on doing a Pax Romana run here fairly soon. I will have the whole recording for that. Here we are with the greatest empire in history. That is 727 AD, so that is the end of the game. I hope you guys like this content. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and don't forget to share my videos if you want to share them with your friends. I know that the mic quality isn't the greatest. I will be working on that for the next set of videos. But other than that, I will see you guys next time, and keep gaming.